Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Emergence Day Season 2, Week 11. I'm Taylor Reflections Noble, joined by Ryan Summers, a.k.a. Ryan Fools. We're now in game number 2 between Rise and Estral. It was a fun game number 1 on Asylum, and we saw it ended in 5-2 with Rise Nation taking the lead here, and we see Estral fighting back, potentially take Trading Grounds and force a game 3 on Exhibit. And already off the rip, Enzim doing his thing, picked up first blood. It doesn't stop there. He goes for the full cap. Bravo and Charlie in Rise's hands.
And you've seen Shotgun a little aggressive for a minute, then kind of starting to edge back because currently, like I said, there's no reason not to just hold that setup. You're going to see Crack pick up early elimination onto Detox. Looks like Estral's actually making their way over towards C for a little bit of an OE. You're going to have a little bit of defending coming in by Avexis, who it looked almost like Crack didn't see him at first. I'm not sure. Based on his body language, I almost wondered if he saw him or not. So Avexis does pick that up, but Fiercely is there for the trade, so credit to Estral for at least getting that break. Will stop some of the bleeding, but that B hill is still very, very easily kept by Rise Nation.
Yeah, you see them swarmed on it. There's 3 strong over there, and I think that's why Estral felt the opportunity was opened up onto Charlie, but it just wasn't, and a good hold overall. Fiercely tried to get it going, but I think in the end he knew Rise just going to be coming off spawn. Even if he gets to full cap, it's not going to matter. It's just going to be a short-term gain, long-term loss, so he rotates back out. And Estral very strong up top. Looks like they're going for an OE themselves. They're kind of giving up B in there, at least in this case. Detox now getting hit with an absolute break, going down himself fiercely. Back at it again, right? He's already back over at the home hill, and he's locking it down. And now Estral, they've got B in their sights. You see them starting to collapse down Rise Nation, just trying to hold them at bay.
And now they're on B as well. Rise Nation, they got to hop over. This is a tough one to get into. Estral begins to clean up the kills, and a few shots missed on both ends, I would say, as Shot continues to dance around. That's it. Kills do come through. Yeah, Detox and Avexis not spawning back in. Good early start coming in from Estral. Rise Nation did kind of win that initially, got that early setup. I believe it was Crack who got one of those kind of opening kills onto Detox. End up moving forward and winning that first round. Already a better start than Asylum.
Oh, 100%. 100%, right? But, you know, let's not forget they were trading off in that first half, right, 2-2. And it was when they got to that push-and-pull fight onto E. That's when things really started to crumble, and we saw Rise start to heat up in the slaying powers. So you got to be thinking, right, that kind of fight, that close quarter fight, is still going to happen on that second half up top. And especially if we see a drop shot get added up there. Maybe Rise, that could be in maybe in their strategy pushing forward if Estral continues to win a couple of rounds. But it does come to show you Fiercely, despite making that OE and pushing back, he came in with the rest of the cavalry, and that ended up being the final nail in the coffin. So a good win for Estral overall. Rise, though, another strong initial. Let's see how Estral reacts.
And Adverse hitting him with the absolute beams over on the B hill. Not missing a bullet. That's going to be 2 members down early for Rise Nation. Crack involved in the kill feed as well. Avexis trying to fight back, gets one. It's going to now put Estral at a 3v2 advantage. Avexis is going to make his way over towards C. At least put a bit of a thorn in the side of Estral. Kind of break up their setup every which way he can, because obviously you have to focus on that hill at one point or another. Rise Nation do have a couple players here. We're going to see Estral put all 4 players over towards C to get that hill back. So at the very least, this play by Avexis, this play by Rise Nation is going to break the setup of Estral and almost become next to kind of a race back to B.
And Detox now needs to fight against Crack, and he needs to win it as he goes ahead and at least concedes it for the time being. And he will, in fact, finally get that down, but not enough time to capture B himself. You do notice Estral responding back strongly, as they're going to have 3 over here, but some good wins from Avexis is not going to be enough. Enzim and Drix going to be the last 2 up as Estral quickly recovers. It's been a big bloodbath here during this round so far. You do notice not a big point differential between these two because they're just flying across the map, going for those OEs as aggressively as I've ever seen.
And Cardi there, I think you just need to kind of keep his spacing better. He basically just gave Enzim a couple very free shots trying to kind of go for that up A, back A. And now Enzim and Rise Nation taking over C. It's the second time now where they've lost B, and they've kind of said, okay, and then made their way right over to the home hill. And so far it's paying off. You're going to see Rise Nation also toying with B as that's starting to be kind of decapped. Finally is decapped. Now the attempt is in. You're going to hear the bells. Recap underway. Is anyone from Estral in position to get a touch? The answer is going to be no. Another big play from Enzim on the home hill. This new pickup from Rise Nation has been such an impact. since the San Diego event, and he continues to make play after play. That's a round-winning play.
It absolutely is. One thing that I do love about the LATAM scene is how aggressive they can be. We've seen it time and time again, whether we watch them in Emergence days with Pittsburgh Knights, Estral, even Fire and Ice, right? Or you go over to the Challenger Series where we've seen countless other Challenger teams played out. They love to go for those OEs, and I like Rise's reaction to that is they're just going for OEs themselves. Enzim making that OE ended up being the biggest play to make it all come together. So Rise giving Estral a taste of their own medicine, taking over that victory, and we're all tied up here. Now, traditionally, Rise, they win these, at least these initials. They get control of Bravo very quickly, and the story's going to be much the same here. But it's always Estral's response to this that stops Rise. Let's see if Rise has learned from the previous rounds, and maybe they can go ahead and counter what Estral's throwing at them. And overall, it seems as if Fiercely's holding his own. A big win up top, and you know what he's going to do, right? He's going to head straight over to Charlie with his team.
He's going to get his health back because he knows it's going to be incoming fire, but a good play by Fiercely to kick off the round. Now Estral taking a little bit of a page out of Rise Nation's book, I would say, right? Winning that fight, heading right over to the home hill, and now you're going to see Rise have to do a bit of what Estral did. Take those resources and move them over as Adverse clears out Shock. Detox makes his way over. Starts to back off, and the kill feed continuing to favor Blue. But for how long? Avexis does get one. Reflame going to decide to cut his losses. You can see his team does have the B hill. No need to continue fighting that hill. And now Estral make the OE play. Get a couple kills, force Rise off the spot of B, and now have taken control of their home hill and the neutral. On the other end, though, here comes Rise in the OE.
They're already going for the OE themselves, so I was just about to point that out. They get pushed back, though. Fiercely has been doing a great job holding his own on that up top fight, right? And he's kind of been the main catalyst why these OEs have been so successful onto the side of Estral. And he's already stacked up ready to go for another OE, or at least challenge for that top overlook position, so he can just beam players from Rise Nation. But a good break does come through. Fiercely does get dropped. Avexi is winning that 1v1, and now it's Reflame trying to stop Rise over at their own home hill, and he's not going to be successful. Rise will retake that once again, and this is what happened last round. Rise, they ended up getting both home hills. They collapsed onto Bravo, and then it was GG from there.
Looking like we might see a little more of that, but at the very least, Taylor, they're going to use this 2-cap to get back in this time lead, and at the right time, right? We're heading kind of towards that 160, 170 mark. That's where you kind of make those decisions, right? Do you start to save spawns? That's really when you got to make those very, very heads-up decisions. You're going to see Fiercely edging over towards A, but the Rise Nation team fire is there to answer. Astro does hop onto C, so they can hold down B. That will give them the time lead back. See what Rise chooses to do. Is Rise make the OE play once again? Do they collapse on the B? It looks like so far the answer is a little bit of both. You're going to see members heading over towards B. You're going to also see members heading towards C. They could win the split push fight, which so far looks like it's going well. Fiercely hasn't spawned back in yet. Cracked the last player in the map, and Rise Nation, Taylor, they've done it once again. That same play. Looking to end in the same result, but Crack trying to make the sneaky play. Gets the break. His teammates actually looking like they're spawning back in. Adverse has a lot of spawn, so I guess that makes sense. But it's, I mean, you're just jumping into a firing range of Red Lancers.
Good job from Rise. You know, the initial goes well from them. Estral, though, immediately goes for it's literally been the same story every single round, where Estral, they lose the initial, but then they go for the OE, and it starts with Fiercely up top, right? Fiercely wins that fight on Overlook. He goes ahead and goes for the OE. He's joined by a couple of teammates. Rise, though, in the end, they end up going for the OE themselves. They stack up at least 3 or 4 strong. They don't even worry about Bravo. They just run through the last defenders from Estral who are trying to defend their own home hill, and then they collapse down onto Bravo themselves and leave a couple back to defend once Estral starts to spawn back up, right? Because naturally they're going to be heading for their own home hill themselves. Rise seems to have figured Estral out, and they are capitalizing. It could potentially be going 3-1 into the second half. Fight once again now for Bravo taking place, and for the first time, Rise decides to hold back and not put anybody onto B as of yet.
And you see that kill feed starting to light up red. Fiercely tries to play a little bit of defense. Now it's a good flash on the Detox, turns around and makes him pay. Good play by Fiercely. Now taking Vexi's next. He's getting hit in the back. Speaking of getting hit in the back, here comes Adverse on the other end. So now numbers favoring Estral. You're going to see them make their way over towards A. It seems like the OE plays have kind of been the most impactful so far in this Training Grounds map. Estral looking to try to finish this fight off. They got the first kill, but it was Rise Nation who did hold that much stronger. Now only 2 members alive for Estral. On the other end, you're going to have 3 Rise Nation members up, 1 off spawn. You got to imagine they're going to put those resources over towards B, and if you're Estral, you got to make a decision of where you send those players off of spawn.
Definitely got to be thinking, right, Advers. He's going to be defending Charlie as of now, maybe heading over towards Overlook, but a good hold so far from Estral, but if Vexy's looking to change that storyline, and he does just that along with his team. Now Fiercely is going to be the next person in line for Estral to hold them at bay, but he's going to have a lot of pressure applied to him. Meanwhile, fight for Advers up top taking place. Fiercely will drop short spawn, so you know Estral's going to be coming back up, but Rise, they love to put this vice grip onto the strategy of Estral, and they're going to constantly keep collapsing down, but you do notice nobody in control of B, and Estral looking to maybe sneak that for themselves. Reflame, he's going to be capturing it, but Rise Nation, they're not really too worried about it, Ryan. They're going for the OE.
Yeah, those plays have made so much of a difference on this map. You're going to see Shock and Drix continuing to kind of just poke at these players on Estral. Team Fires coming in from the back, and when the fight concludes, it is going to be Rise Nation once again taking the fight on the home hill. Advers does get one, but he's going to end up being dropped by Shock's pistol. Reflame almost went for that revive. Rise Nation was there for the cleanups. They do get the break. Of course, we are on the quickest spawns of the half touch. The players are going to be flying in left and right. The only difference is that Rise Nation have all 5 members up, and Estral has a permanent 5v4. Both the Vexies and Detox are on their last life. On the other end, Cardi and Fiercely are the same. And as kind of the dust settles now, players look to kind of set back up. It is Rise with both A and B. And Estral has to get a pretty definitive wipe. You're going to see Cardia run. Feel almost a Gears 3 head down right on the Drix. But the trades do come through of Vexies with that power position. Look at the team fire coming in on both ends. Just so frustrating if you're these members of Estral getting hit from all angles. They get the cap on B, but you know it's only going to be for so long. Fiercely's now permanently out. Cracks permanently out. And Rise Nation continue to play the spacing well, play with their teamwork, and continue to kind of just cross them out as much as they can. They have the lead now at the 2:10 mark. You got to figure they continue to kind of just slow play this till the round's theirs.
Ooh, and Cardia drops 2, so that's 3 permanently down. And it looks as if Rise is going to walk away with this as Detox trying to take Advers out himself. The 1v1 will be at least in the favor of Advers, but it's not going to be enough. They don't have enough teammates to go through and break those hills, and Rise will take a quick 3-1 lead. That first round was all that Estral, at least in the first half, was able to get. Since then, Rise Nation, they've had Estral's number. They've been playing the OE game right back in Estral's face, right? Estral started off strong in that OE. That's why they won the first round. I don't think Rise was ready for it. But ever since, Rise has kind of been doing the same thing they've been doing. And now that fight up top is going to take place. I think that this fight up top is really going to favor Rise overall slaying out. But then again, I mean, look, you look over onto the other side of Estral. Fiercely, he's been holding his own. Adverse too. Those are going to be 2 people I'm watching out for on this fight for E.
Yeah, and I'm almost just kind of wondering conceptually, are we starting to see a bit of a shift in the meta of this map? I feel like more and more as weeks go on, we're seeing more and more fights on these OEs, more and more fights on these home in the first half. Of course, there are times where things like the drop shot gets placed and it kind of forces the fight, but those OE plays are kind of the telling story for both of these teams, right? Whether or not it was the kind of the catalyst for a trip cap, whether or not it was win on time. And speaking of trip caps, Estral didn't even have time to go for the trip cap. They got the complete wipe. Putting their second round on the board, keeping this one close. That was kind of one of the early swing rounds we like to call them sometimes, right? That had gone to kind of a 4-1. You got to almost imagine Rise finishes that off. Now things feel kind of that much closer.
Oh, yeah.
But kind of my original point, though, I do feel like we're seeing more and more of those early OEs. Before it used to just be a bloodbath over at B. Sometimes the stalemate over at B, right? Who's going to hop over, who's going to take the initiative, who's going to try and go for the quick cap. And now we're seeing a lot of just kind of early fights and then people instantly hitting that home hill. And I wonder if it's just because of kind of how the lines of sight work down towards the neutral hill, just how,
I would say,
how difficult it can be at times.
I think a lot of teams really started applying that pressure for that overlook position, right? Just to have, like you said, that neutral fire, that Lancer fire onto the neutral hill of Bravo. Once they win that fight up top, it's really just a short jaunt over to go ahead and go for that OE. You got to be thinking, right, winning that fight up top, getting the OE down, really sets you up well because, like you said, that stalemate for that Bravo fight happened way too much, and it was so hard to push that, and it ended up giving just a lot of time to the enemy team if you didn't have control of it. But by forcing that OE, you force players around, and then you can come straight down as Rise. coming out strong.
I was going to say, we saw a 5 wipe on the first
from
round.
Estral. Jeez.
Now we're seeing yet another 5 wipe on the other end. And by the way, did you see Inzem hit him a little shake over there, just kind of wall bouncing around, making him miss? That gave Detox all the time in the world to flank right up and get the chunk. So without even shooting, Inzem's still finding ways to make plays for this Rise Nation team. Now they find themselves at 4-2, of course, on map and match point. I'll be honest, Taylor, once this match is over, I'm instantly hitting the Bluebird, and I'm looking for the TL.
Yo, because the trash
it's gonna pop off.
So good.
These two teams have been going at it for quite some time about who's catfish, who's online, who's only done it once, whatever it may be. I need to see the Bluebird after this.
I mean, though, you know, the trash talk. Okay, look, I'm just going to say this. The trash talk Rise, though. Estral had a better performance at San Diego, but in terms of Emergence days, Rise has kind of been the team to beat as of recently. So it's kind of like you take your pick. Online play, it seems as if Rise is kind of that team, at least as of right now. We'll see what they can do over in Mexico. But you notice Estral, they didn't push in as strong as they did the last 2 rounds, right? They kind of conceded this fight for Overload.
Yeah, Rise definitely got in there much more aggressive. When you give Rise Nation the ability to get in there and get aggressive, they are going to absolutely thrive. Look at this early initial coming through. The kill feed is just absolutely lighting up red. Another 3 down. Make that 4 down. Make that 5 down. Another quick 5 wipe coming through from Rise Nation. A couple players, of course, were able to get off spawn, but you just see the dominance this team has when they're wolfpacking, when they're kind of being the ones on the aggression. It's definitely become their identity, both in kind of Gears 4 and Gears of War 5. So if you're Estral and you're kind of just sitting back and letting them make the move, a lot of times it's going to end with you dying.
Yo, I'm not going to lie. The way that Estral's moving straight over towards E, they look bad. Like, they look ready to go. And at this point, Rise, they've got to be a little bit careful here because Estral just head full of steam, not slowing down. You see them going 3 strong up top. Shock now, and Incem. Knowing that, you know, Crack was in a very weak position by himself, they go ahead and swarm him 2 strong. They'll go ahead and backtrack. Shock, though, backing up. So he was stunned just a little bit. Adverse now going down, and there it is. There's the trash talk coming through, and that's going to make that Twitter battle all the more fun to watch as Rise will swarm onto E. Cardia gets a break onto D, but how long can Estral continue to do this? Their respawn economy is really starting to tank.
Yeah, it's going to continue to dwindle, and gets to the point, too. I mean, of course, their back's against the wall, right? They're at the 4-2, so they have to keep throwing their spawns out every chance they get to just stay in the map alone. So it almost gets to a point where even if you use all the spawns in the world to win a round, you kind of set yourself for failure. But here comes Crack on the flank, getting one. Fears is going to get another one. This could be a big swing coming through if Estral can get this kill. Incem trying his best to get one on the way out. Here comes the flank. 3 members it takes to take this guy down. Finally, he does drop. Estral potentially now beginning to take control of this Reflame's going to pick up that new inset Detox. Going to be on the aggression. Of course, Estral has plenty of time. You see the win condition still has them in their favor. And again, they're going to have to hold this setup good. They're going to have to basically be flawless for the rest of this map if they want to stay in this series.
Crack did something very special right there, Ryan. It's something that you pointed out in the past. The hardest shot to hit is the one where the player doesn't see you on the flank.
Absolutely.
And Crack hit it.
Is that the momentum
flawlessly.
Shift? No, we say time and time again. There's nothing harder.
So hard to hit
it on
the flank, man.
You're flanking someone in Gears of War.
Wide open shot.
I don't care which Gears of War it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Judgment, UE, whatever it is. If you come up behind someone that doesn't see you, chunking them is the hardest thing in the world. I don't care what it says.
But Crack did it.
Crack did it. So this could be the
momentum
chance.
Shift.
And look, now the kill feed's getting blue. It just there's momentum.
We'll see if it definitely changes it. It could very well. Estral needs it. A well-placed Shocked will not allow Inzem to push forward. He's going for a little flank, it seems as if. Sees fiercely up the corner. Inzem could, in fact, make something happen here, but he's going to be in 1v2. As I believe the Boltok firing some shots from behind. And Rise needs to get to work. They're currently losing, but they do, in fact, get D and F, and they got the break onto E, but someone from Estral hasn't, in fact, snuck over towards F. E is still in the hands of Estral. And if a break doesn't happen here in this 1v2 up top, that is going to be all she wrote. But will a break happen? It will not. Estral, they're going to take this round. They're going to stay alive for just a little bit longer. But we talked about that respawn economy. Estral's hurting just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Estral, like I said, has to be pretty much flawless for the rest of this map. Have to chain together the last 2. Like you mentioned, that respawn economy, as you look at it, is definitely favoring Rise. You're going to see 3, 4, 3, 4, 3. On the other end, already a player on Estral sitting at 1. So if you're Estral, this initial becomes that much more important, right? You cannot afford to try to win on that second wave. And I think Rise Nation knows that. So they're going to try to hunt that one player down. You're going to see Estral also putting down the drop shot. That's going to get a little interesting too. If I'm Estral, I actually don't know if I want to put that drop shot down. I'm not sure if I want to force that kind of all-in brawl fight, because if you have the players on low respawn economy, those fights create a lot more trades. Those fights create a lot more early kills. So you're unless again it's just fights that you don't always win super definitively. So to me, I almost wonder if that's going to make it that much harder with them being down to respawn economy.
Ooh, and that's a well-placed shock to drop a couple from Estral. And really, it's going to be, will Estral be able to win this initial as Reflame doing a good job taking some players out. Drick, though, doing a good job getting a finish off. Reflame, very aggressive, forced to reload. Avexis takes advantage of that and will silence of Crack. Last one alive. And, you know, you're right? You had to put all of your eggs in one basket by placing that drop shot up top. And I think Estral probably was banking on the fact that, yeah, their respawn economy was low. Maybe they were just wanting to get a full wipe like they did a couple of rounds ago. Maybe they felt that was their best answer, their best response.
Oh, man, it's shock. Okay, the double kill, make that a triple. And you got to imagine, Taylor, if Cardi goes down here, that's got to be the nail in the coffin, right? You know the Rise is not going to lose at a permanent 5v4. Cardi does manage to stay alive, though. And kind of your point earlier about the drop shot play, I mean, I guess you could maybe make the case that they were playing the initial well, so maybe that was a reason for it. But again, the kind of sequence I worried about is exactly what happened, right? You're going to have to get those kind of all-in brawls, and that all-in brawl happened, and it took basically a wave of respawns out from Estral in a situation where they could have played it a lot slower, played for picks more, and really kind of preserved that.
That is fair to say. Who knows what Estral was thinking at that point, but now you got to be looking Cardia last life, Fiercely last life, Adver's last life.
And Kraken Reflame are on 1.
And then, you know, you look at Rise, the lowest player is Drix. He's still at 2 out of 4. So at this point in time, it's looking very grim onto the side of Estral, but they'll continue to fight as they do. And Adverse has, in fact, been dropped, so he's now permanently out. Like you said, it's going to be tough for Rise to lose a permanent 5v4. As Cardia, he's going to be leading the charge along with Crack. Detox will drop, but Rise will back up. But for how long can Estral stay alive here?
Yeah, I mean, you have to make pretty much I would call a miracle play to make this happen. As Rise Nation now takes control of D and F. And again, those long lines of sights, right? Pulling them out from the neutral hill over to the home hills. Rise just has the ability to just drill them with Lancers on the entry, and every kill really matters that much more, especially if it's Cardi and Fiercely. You want to try to keep them on the back lines. The unfortunate part for them is there really is no back lines anymore. You're at a permanent 5v4. You don't have that kind of back line player. You have to sort of put all your eggs in that basket. And the last shining hope could be this drop shot. Crack does fall. He is one of the players who won respawn.
No.
Cardia, if he'd just been maybe a little more patient, might have had a chance, and that is absolutely the nail in the coffin. Rise Nation now with a 5v1. One player cannot do all 3 hills, cannot get all 5 kills, and Rise Nation do get that clean 2-0 like you predicted, sending Estral home in round 1.
I don't know much, but sometimes I just throw something out there and sometimes it sticks.
There you go.
And in this case, it just so happened to do, or it just so happened to stick. So good stuff from Rise, who again is fighting for their 4th championship overall.